Does that hospital support physiological birth? Because this is another thing that I recognized is that my midwife for my first pregnancy, she was fully on board. Like she believed in true natural birth. She had seen it for decades, and she'd also come into the practices before midwifery had been registered under our medical system. So she understood that birth could happen without intervention. But then she had also seen all of these restrictions. And because of the fact that I'd been told I couldn't have a home birth, I went into the hospital. And I wasn't aware of the hospital policies around natural birth and how long a mom is allowed to be pushing for. And I didn't also see until later just how much my midwife had had to fight that system to keep the OBs out of my room, to keep the hospital from pulling rank on her. And the only reason she was able to stand up as strong as she could probably was because of the fact that she was 2 years away from retirement. And if they slapped her on the wrist or whatever, it didn't matter. Whereas there was a lot of younger midwives out there, newly certified even, that would not risk their job just to allow a mom to have more autonomy in her birth. So when you're in a toxic hospital environment, you have to be aware of something called horizontal violence in that system. And that is what your care provider is dealing with. So you need to recognize, well, what hospital privileges do they have at what places, and what is that environment, and how is that going to affect their practice? Which ties again into that story I told you from Reclaiming Childbirth as a Rite of Passage with that midwife who then had the OB come in and ask why the waters hadn't been broken. Like, why haven't you broken her waters yet? Like, that's something that needs to happen because she's still in labor. Like this, let's speed this up. Like, get in the bed, get out of the bed, send her home. Never mind about physiological birth because again, birth is a business in the hospital.